Ty Smalley was 9 years old when he began being bullied by a fellow fourth grader. It started by teasing and hitting him. Over the next 2 years, it even escalated to him being shoved into lockers and put into the garbage can. About a week before the end of the sixth grade year, Ty decided to retaliate. He shoved the bully back. Seems like a good end to the story, doesn't it? Ty finally learned how to end bullying. You have to stand up to a bully. Unfortunately, it's not always that easy. On television and in the movies, bullies are often shown as the largest, meanest kids in class. And in movies like Carrie, The Karate Kid, and Mean Girls, bullies are overcome when the kids being bullied learn to stand up to them and fight back. Good saves the day, and everything is great. Many times the bullies even learn from their behavior and turn over a new leaf, so to speak. Well, in the real world, it doesn't happen like that. In Ty's case, it certainly did not. Ty's mom, Laura, picked him up from school that day. He seemed sad, but okay, so Laura drove him home for a few hours as she returned to work. When she returned home, she found Ty with a gunshot wound. He had found a handgun stored in his mom and dad's closet and shot himself. Bullying, in all forms, has increased the frequency and harshness in the last 2 decades. I am going to show you that this is due to an increased usage of social media, such as Facebook, Twitter, and the enhanced technology that kids are exposed to, and the hands-off approach that parents use in raising their children today. To begin with, I want to explain to you what bullying and cyberbullying is, and how they differ. Bullying is defined as the use of force, threat, or abuse to intimidate or dominate others. Examples would be threatening to beat someone up unless they do your homework or give you something of theirs. Making up and spreading a lie about someone to get them in trouble also falls into this category. Cyberbullying is both different and the same. It is bullying that takes place using electronic technology. Examples of cyberbullying would include posting rumors or lies on someone's Facebook page or sending them threatening text or messages on their phone. Cyberbullying is far more common than bullying these days. Teens are using social media and other websites for flaming, a type of online fighting where kids send deliberate hostile messages to one another, and dissing, which is when a person publishes cruel rumors, gossip, or untrue statements about someone else. Impersonation can be particularly harmful. That occurs when someone pretends to be someone else and posts on their account. It is usually accomplished by breaking into someone's account, changing the password, and posting on their account. The post often consists of embarrassing admittances or ugly posts to and about the victim's friends. Outing occurs when someone posts or publishes private, confidential, or embarrassing things online. Forwarding pictures sent in confidentiality is also in this category. These are just a few examples. There are countless other ways to cyberbully, and anyone can be affected. A 2011 Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance Survey was conducted. Of those surveyed, half admitted to either being the victim or the instigator in cyberbullying, and more than half of those they did not tell and have no plans to tell their parents. A third of the surveyed teens say they have received actual threats online. Based on the results of the survey, it was determined that at least 16% of all high school students grade 9 through 12 have been affected by cyberbullying. Most of the incidents are relatively minor. Let's say that Sue asks her friend Jane to borrow her phone to make a phone call. After Sue makes the phone call, she hits the Facebook button, and it is still logged on to Jane's account. She then posts something on her status, handing the phone back. Then all of a sudden she starts receiving like 40 likes for a statement that says, "I'm pregnant." 10 minutes later, when Sue goes into the restroom, 3 different girls ask her about morning sickness. By the end of the day, she has received hundreds of likes, comments, pitying looks, and stares, and her boyfriend even broke up with her because she spread their business online before coming to him with the news. Jane may have thought it was funny. Sue, however, did not. This is easily fixable. Sue comments on the status. Jane admits to hacking it. It becomes funny, lots of LOLs start pouring in, and by the end of the next day, Sue worked things out with her boyfriend and everything's back to normal. Well, sometimes it doesn't work that way. Sometimes you can't prove it to be not true. Some cyberbullying incidents escalate rather quickly. However, they aren't so minor. Imagine the same scenario of a borrowed phone when the status is changed to something more harmful and not so easily disproved. Or if Jane had changed the password and Sue could not type a rebuttal and comments. Cyberbullying can be more harmful than bullying because it reaches further and faster than bullying ever could. 10 years ago, if you were being bullied at school, face to face, at least you had the evenings, nights, and weekends to get away from your bully. Today, cyberbullying threats come all hours of the night via computer, bullies, cell phones. It is entirely possible to not ever get a moment from your tormentor. Cyberbullying can affect anyone. Race, sex, age does not matter, and girls are just as likely as boys to be bullied. It's happening to 13-year-olds, it's happening to people in their early 20s, even children as young as 10. Most victims and instigators are in their teens, but not always. Now I've explained what cyberbullying is and who it can affect, I'm going to touch on a few ways to lessen or even fully prevent it. First, parental supervision of online activities is crucial. You should always know what's going on with your children when they're online. They're exposed to people and you don't know what kind of people they are or what's being said, or maybe they're the instigator and they're the ones saying it. So you should always monitor their online activity very, very carefully. Encourage your children to use passwords in the privacy setting. Parents should know those passwords and privacy settings. However, it should not be shared with friends or schoolmates or anyone else. Encourage your children never to share devices or accounts such as their laptop, their cell phone. Don't stay logged into Facebook on their cell phone if they're going to let other people borrow it. Keep the lines of communication open. Your child should feel safe in the fact that they should be able to come to you if they're being bullied, and they've got to feel comfortable enough to tell you that. And children who are so insecure that they have to bully these other kids, there needs to be a line of communication for them also. Know the signs and symptoms of bullying. Signs of emotional distress after using the phone or the computer, being very protective of their digital life, not ever wanting their parents to see it, withdrawal from friends and activities, slipping grades, acting out. Any of these should be a sign that something is going on with your child. Parents are sure to be upset if they discover their child is a bully, but they should keep in mind and take steps to rectify the situation. Talk to your child very firmly. Let them know that there is negative impact for their actions. Remind the child use of technology is a privilege. Just as you gave the child a privilege, you can take that privilege away from that child. Involve other adults in the child's life is needed. Maybe you're a single mom raising a boy, and at some point that boy needs a male role model. So involve other people, friends, church members, or someone to get that child the bond and the communication they need. Therapy is wonderful for all those affected, whether you're the bully or the instigator. Cyberbullying is very prevalent among today's youth. It can be lessened or even prevented with the right actions if we take those actions as parents. So always remember, when your child is using online, it's not just, there's a lot of things besides bullying. You should always keep up with it because you don't know who is on the other end of that computer. And if you don't know them personally, you don't know if they are who they say they are. So parents, just take an open stand and let's end bullying.